Have you ever seen either video or some news article where a person is lighting their tap water on fire and claiming that fracking caused it? Well, even though there's usually a lot of shrieking going on around what people label as contamination from fracking, sorry to burst all those bubbles out there, but the stuff they're actually lighting up, methane, is naturally occurring in shallower reservoirs and can result from the degradation of organic material. I think a lot of people forget that methane and other hydrocarbons aren't man-made and have been in place long before any drilling or fracking activity ever occurs. So yeah, of course people that aren't in the know about how all of this stuff works are going to freak out when they see people lighting their tap water on fire like it's some kind of circus trick or something. That's what these enviro crazies that hate the oil and gas industry are banking on though. And the media too, by the way, because putting fear in people sells. But let's take a step back here and look at some real life cases where their narrative just doesn't pan out, which as usual is like 99.99% of the time. This article from the Daily Caller shows lots of scientific studies like this one coming out of the University of Texas at Austin that showed fracking likely wasn't the source of high levels of methane in well water in the Fort Worth area. These scientists collected samples when the Environmental Protection Agency issued an endangerment order when a video surfaced of a man lighting his garden hose on fire. But that whole thing went right off the rails when a judge found that same man collaborated with an environmental consultant to make what was called a deceptive video. So this guy actually had to make this thing up so that he could get national attention, stoke the media fire, and maybe get a massive payout. The EPA later dropped the case. And then there's this study from the United States Geological Survey that shows it's all in the geochemistry, which determined that methane in groundwater in a region of north central Arkansas was likely naturally occurring. But I think my favorite has to be this one that again was originally reported by Andrew Follett over at the Daily Caller. This study was actually funded by environmentalists and showed fracking had no effect on drinking water in 5 whole counties in Ohio where the Utica Shale is being drilled up. In fact, it was found that the highest concentrations of methane didn't even occur near any fracked well. These are just a few among many other studies showing similar results. But do you notice anything? What people want to be true isn't really the same as something being true. And no matter how hard these eco-crazies try and how upset they get about it, their arguments and their weak attempts at trickery don't stand up to the science, data, and facts that make the case for fracking. They have to pathetically go out of their way to make stuff up in order to get the attention they want, and then they capitalize on banking on people not knowing any better. What's more is that natural gas is actually driving emissions down in the United States. Natural gas is substituting for coal, and burning it is up to 50% cleaner. So actually, these enviro freaks should be praising fracking, but instead they vilify it and they do it recklessly. They'll never mention that their beloved electric cars or wind and solar energy are powered by fossil fuels, like the coal that generates electricity to charge batteries. You know, if these environmentalists really cared about Mother Earth, they'd embrace the fracking revolution and the natural gas that comes along with it. For the Rebel.media, I'm Holly Nicholas. Have you heard about our fundraiser for the Spear Kids? We're trying to raise $1 million for them after their dad was killed on the battlefield by convicted terrorist Omar Khadr, who Justin Trudeau and the Liberals just made a multi-millionaire. Please check out the campaign at spearkids.com for more details and to donate.